everyone receive is a reflection of us.
Welcome. You know, life is rather interesting at this point. We have a lot going on in the world. It makes us question when the end of it will be. There is so much speculation in, will there be a solar storm? Maybe a plasma storm? Maybe the opening of a black hole? Loss of gravity, who knows? And it fascinates me with all of the distractions being played out and the atrocities in the world. What are all the elites doing? Are they hiding? Are they building things to disappear? It's a fascinating thing because if we look over history, there is always the same people. We know this. They hide, they have information. If we go back further with the descendants of Cain potentially and all the others, that they have foreknowledge, foreknowing of what will occur. Maybe. Are they all going into hiding? Are all these distractions to keep people unaware of what they're doing? Maybe. Will there actually be a solar storm or a plasma storm that rewrites the world as we know it? Are they drip feeding information into people's psyches so that they're aware? Or maybe they're not aware. Is all of this playing out between Israel and Muslim countries and all of this stuff that is taking over the headlines? Is that for good? Or is it another play in a poker hand? It's interesting because we are being bombarded with a plethora of information that it's hard to keep track of what is real, what is fabricated, and what is illusory to the mind. And it's fascinating because even amongst all of this, you have a lot of influencers who will jump onto certain things and promote it, create free publicity, because that's what they are. They created a channel to highlight what is popular. I think a lot of these channels are owned, whether on both sides of politics or both sides of religion or whatever it may be. It's hard to understand who is actually genuine. Now it leads me into another question in terms of what is genuine these days with the honest people who want to do good. People are enslaved to work daily. What is the end goal? They work and they work and they work and they buy a home and they have a mortgage and they have insurances. And this was brought up in a video where I had to disagree with what one person said because it was, you either go down the path you're on of torment and misery and homelessness, or you listen and you get a good job and have a family and support yourself and work hard. But that's just the disease that society has created. That you have to have a job. It's the American dream, it's the lifestyle, it's the freedom of Australia. You have a family, buy a car, have a house, have a mortgage, pay your bills, be a good citizen, you vote. And that's your life. You go on holiday and you travel. But what is the end goal? What is the purpose? And then it cycles and repeats and gets handed down to generation through generation while the lies and the secrecy play out behind closed doors. There has to come a time or a point in life where people question work. The work that you do, is it beneficial? Does it have somewhere you're trying to get to? For me, changing the way people see art has always been a part of my belief that I want those who go to galleries not to witness this modern uselessness, but interactive, and understand that art is something more than just money and snobs. I want people to change the way to make an experience, not just a way of money laundering. You see, we all have those things that we want to change in the world, that we want to see better, planting more trees and fruits, and changing the schooling and the education system, changing the entire thing. Well, at least that's my goal. That's what I want to see. I cannot go back and work in a societal environment, especially one that didn't appreciate human beings during the COVID period, who listened to governments over honesty and health of proper people. I just cannot. I would rather starve with my faith than go back to work for companies who are just there to take advantage of its people. So what is the end goal? Well, in their current cycles, it's just loops and endless loops and endless loops and endless loops. There isn't somewhere. Whenever someone has some, information or technology, or has a brilliant mind, they are taken, put into a place where they are indoctrinated into helping society grow further, or they are limited. In the tall poppy syndrome, they are cut back. And if they are of evil narrative, then they get taken in and see the top side. The end goal for humanity is not to achieve anything. It is just an endless loop of indoctrination to technology, slow and steady increments. But the true path is a path to achievement, success, love, abundance, enlightenment, that uprising of community and spiritualness. So, what are we seeing now in the world? Will there be a cataclysm? Will there be another wiping of humanity? And one of the things that I highlight to me is there are those who run scared. Why? Because those who are in high places want to continue to rule over the world, rule over the people, and they will do anything to keep that balance. You see, when you are protected by the angels and God, you don't need bunkers underground. We used to say that those bunkers will hold up against the next phase of reality. Who's to say that? Maybe their bunkers will not survive. Who knows? But I would like to know that when your heart is with God, or Source, or Creator, however you wish to call it, it doesn't matter where you are. You will always be where you need to be at that very moment, protected and loved. I say the same thing about Mother Nature, and those who look after her, treat her with kindness and respect, will also be looked after. I like to think that if some type of weird plasma decides to try and take over the world, that its knowing when seeing good people will recognize that. It knows who is there to succeed and help. Kind of like in Twister when the house was left untouched. One of the oldest places, but yet survived. And all these new buildings did not. So, where are we going? Where is the trajectory, the true path of humanity leading us? What are the distractions at play? Who is actually on the side of the people anymore? You can see there is so much going on that it's hard to discern what is real and what is not. And that is one of the biggest plays they ever did. AI is now created video where it's getting harder and harder to discern between reality and falseness. That's the difficulty of all of it. Is when you don't know what is real and who is on the side of good, then people are left unconnected, without community, without purpose, rounded up like cattle. Maybe that's why it's so heavy, because there is no drive. The people are getting tired, as myself was. And it's just getting harder and harder to motivate yourself to keep going, because unless you are in it, unless you are a part of the solution, or you have success, or you continue to be part of the problem, either way, both sides, it's difficult. It really is. I don't know what's coming, but I face it with a pure of heart, with an open mind, and a love only that I share with others and nature. I know I am going to be successful, that my path will become abundant with connection, love, and riches. I don't know if it's time where everyone just needs to turn away from what is happening in the world. Because as hard as it is, and the atrocities that occur, the more attention that we give it, the more we are missing what is actually happening. It happens over the millennia, over every year. As soon as these things start happening, there's bigger things playing behind the scenes. I don't know. All I know is I think humanity needs to start being more reactive from the heart and their feeling, rather than reactive to thought and processes of what's happening from the television, from the media. Because negative publicity is still good publicity, because it gets inside people's minds. And when you're in people's minds, you are able to control them, for both good and bad. This is half of the problem, is that the world cannot shut off. They have to see it. They have to release these files so people remain engaged. Governments do all of these negative things because it riles people up, gets them frustrated and angry, and that generates more energy. So they keep doing it. It is frustrating. I think all the governments who are not there for its people need to have a rude awakening. And they will in time, I am sure of it. Or maybe not. Who knows? That's the mystery of life. But the coming together of all of us is what is important. And the more people that tune out, the more people that start to awaken and live from the heart center, the more these atrocities will be removed. It's a fascinating world and time that we live in. Anything is possible now. Whether we are at convergence between multiple timelines or not, there is a lot happening on Today of Days, of course. So let us all be open to the idea of receiving on a red moon, to having the planets in alignment, and grant us all the wishes and desires that we have, and remove the evil of the world, for I think it is time. So it is with that, I leave you with peace and love. Take care.